Multiplying binomials, we have 8x minus 3 times 2x minus 4. We have minus signs in the middle for each of these. So we're going to find out what to do with that. It's the same process, first times first. So we have 8x times 2x. Outside times outside. That's a understood plus there. That's a minus sign there. So plus times minus is minus. 8 times 4, and we have the x there. Taking the second term, take the minus with the 3, times the 2x. So we have a minus times a plus, gives us minus 3 times 2, and that has an x with it. Minus 3 times minus 4, minus times minus is plus, and then 3 times 4. So 8 times 2 is 16, x squared, minus 8 times 4 is 32, x, minus 3 times 2 is 6x, plus 3 times 4 is plus 12. Combine my like terms. They both have x. The exponent is the same on them. I add them together. So I have 16x squared minus 38x plus 12. And that is my answer. Looking at this next problem over here. We have exponent on the parentheses, so it's the parentheses times the parentheses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that exponent, and I'm going to rewrite the stuff in the parentheses. And now it means the exact same thing as if we had the exponent there. So I'm going to get rid of that. Now I can take my first times first. 2 times 2 is 4. Y times y, y squared. Outside times outside, 2 times 4 is 8. I have a positive number here. I have a minus sign there. It gets a minus sign. Carry down my y. My second term here, multiply it in there. Minus times plus is minus. 4 times 2 is 8. Carry the y down. Minus 4 times minus 4. Minus times minus is plus. 4 times 4, 16. Combine my like terms. I have 4y squared minus 16y plus 16. There is a shortcut to do these. A squared plus 2ab plus b squared. We'll be learning that later on. In the meantime, down here, we have a similar problem, but this time we have 3 for the exponent. Instead of up here, we had only 2 for the exponent. So I am going to rewrite this as parentheses times parentheses times parentheses. So I'm going to get rid of that 3 by saying parentheses x plus 2, parentheses x plus 2. Now I can get rid of that. No longer matters. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start distributing just like I did up here. X times x, x squared. X times 2. They're both positive, so plus 2x. Switch colors so you can see what's going on next. 2 times x, both positive, so plus 2x. 2 times 2, both are positive, so plus 4x. And that's that first two sets of parentheses. And then I'm going to just carry forward the x plus 2 down here. I still need to combine my like terms here. So I have my plus 2x, and my plus 2x is going to give me plus 4x. So I have open parentheses, x squared plus 4x plus, and I have a mistake here. That should not be there. So that should just be plus 4. Close parentheses. And then I have my x plus 2 there. So anytime that you see yourself making a mistake, and you always have to double check these things. So I have my 2 times 2, I got 4, but in my brain I was thinking 2x plus 2x, which gave me 4x. Now, check yourself, make sure you don't make some simple mistakes like that. So let's get rid of that. Now this is correct. So now I have the same problem that I had before. I have parentheses times parentheses. So I have to take first term, distribute it into each of the three. Second term, distributed in to each of these three. So let's make some more room here. Get rid of this extra writing so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take the x here and I'm going to distribute into there. So x times x squared is x to the third. X times 4x, there's a plus sign there, bring it down. 4, x to the 1, x to the 1, x to the 2. X times 4, 4x. That's the first term. Taking the second term in, we have the plus 2 here. Take it to the first term over here. So that's 2 times x squared gives me plus 2x squared. Take it to the second term. 2 times 4 is 8. Bring down my x. Take it to the third term. Plus and plus is plus again. 2 times 4 is 8. And now I've finished that part of it. Now I need to combine my like terms. So I see an x to the third here. I'm going to look for any other exponent of 3. There are no other exponent 3's. So that is just x to the third. I see my plus 4x. I'm going to put a check mark over that to say that I did it. Plus 4x squared. Okay, I look for another 4x squared, or x squared I should say, not just 4x squared. I see my x squared there and there. So I'm going to add those. 4 plus 2 is 6. So I have that one taken care of, and I have that one taken care of. Moving to the next step, plus 4x. I look for anything else with an x to the first power. There's one there. So I'm going to combine that and that. So I have plus 4 plus 8, which gives me plus 12. And that gets an x with it. So that one is done. That one is done. Moving to the next term, I see it's already done. Moving to the next term, I see it's done. Moving to the last term, and I see it's just plus 8, and there's nothing else after that. So I write it down for my answer. Now I have my answer down here in black. Next question. Area of a square field that is x plus 4 feet on a side. So it's a square field, and each side is x plus 4 feet. So when you're trying to find the area of a square, you take side length times side length squared. So we are doing x plus 4 quantity squared, which, as I showed you up here and over there, that just means you take the one times the other. So I'm going to do it as x plus 4 times x plus 4. Take the first term times the first term, gives me x squared. Outside times outside, 4x. Make the x look like an x. Penmanship counts. 4 times x. And 4 times 4. Combine my like terms. My like terms right there in the middle. Both have x to the first power. So I have x squared plus 4 plus 4 is 8. X plus 16. My answer is not done yet. This is a word problem, so I need to include my units on that. So I put my parentheses around that, and I say feet, and because it's been feet multiplied by feet, this is going to be feet squared. Now I have my answer. Foiling with fractions and different signs. We take the first times the first. It gives us x squared, x times x squared. We take the outside times the outside. We have a plus here, a plus there, gives us a plus. 2/5 times x. We take the inside times the inside. We have a minus there and an understood plus there. So minus times plus is minus. 2/5 times x is 2/5 x. And then we take the last times the last. So that's a minus times a plus gives us a minus. 2/5 times 2/5 multiply the top, multiply the bottom, and that gives us 4/25. Combine my like terms here. Plus 2/5 x minus 2/5 x. We have the same number, and we're adding and subtracting it. So that's going to be 0x. And then we have this x squared over here. We just bring that down. We have nothing to add or subtract in the middle here, and we have that 4/25 being subtracted over there. So our answer is x minus 4/25. This is, I forgot my square here. This is the difference of squares. You have a minus sign here, you have a square here, and you have something that's squared here. So it's the difference of squares. Looking up here, we see the same term in the first spot, same thing in the second spot. The only difference is that one is a plus and the other one's a minus. Whenever you see that, you will have the difference of squares. Here we have squaring binomials. If you want to, you can do this by saying the stuff in the parentheses times the stuff in the parentheses. That's okay. If that's what you need to do to get this done, go ahead and do it. But I'm going to use a second way of doing this, where we follow a formula. We identify what is our first term, what is our second term, and then we write it out following a certain formula. So looking at this, x plus 7, the whole thing being squared. That matches up just like that. So I identify what is A. A is x. What is B? It's my second term. I'm going to include the sign with it. So B is positive 7. So now I want to write this out. So I'm going to have a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. And I need to write the a is x. So I have x squared plus 2 times a, x, times b, positive 7, plus b squared, 7 squared. Notice I put this 7 in parentheses. I didn't include the positive sign because you don't need to write the positive sign. If there were a negative sign, we would need to have that, a minus sign. So now I'm going to work out what this is. And I have x squared plus 2 times 7 is 14. I have the x there, plus 7 squared is 49. I have my answer.
I like the words that they're using.
Looking at the other problem over here, identify what is A. A is 2x. What is B? B is, and I'm going to include that sign in there with it. B is negative 1. Then I'm going to plug those numbers in to my formula right here. So I have a squared, 2x squared, plus 2 times a, 2x, times b, the whole negative 1 there, plus b squared. Let me separate out here that information. So now I need to figure out what these are. The 2 on the exponent goes to both the 2 inside and the x inside. So we have 2 squared, which gives us 4, and then we have x squared. Plus, I'm going to hold off on my sign for a moment. I have a plus here, a positive there, and a negative there. So I have a positive times a negative will give me a negative. So this is going to be a minus sign here. Then I have 2 times 2 times 1. That gives me 4. Carry down my 1x that I have there. Get over to here. I'm going to hold off on my plus or minus yet. I'm going to figure out what it is first. Okay, I have the plus sign there. I have the negative sign there. And I'm squaring the entire thing of what b is. I'm not squaring just the 1. I'm also squaring the negative sign. So that means a negative times a negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. So I have a plus sign there. And then I have the 1 times 1, which gives me 1. And there is my answer. There is another formula that you can use where you don't include that, but I prefer including that because most people prefer to memorize only one formula. And that's the one that's more handy of these two formulas.